Right, that's on the way. First, Jack Gray is here with Newsbeat's 2:30 on Radio 1.
Radio 1.
Newsbeat.
16-year-old Jessica is kicking us off in Shrewsbury. She's talking about what it's like being out with her rowing club just now.
Even when we've just started, sat on the side of the river, you can see things floating past. It's sanitary products, random stuff like toilet paper and things like that.
It's as the government's got plans for laws that punish water company bosses and could even send them to jail if they put too much sewage into rivers and seas in England and Wales. Some campaigners, though, say they're disappointed because they don't follow the rules as it is. Talking about ticket prices next, because an investigation's being launched into how much Oasis tickets were sold for. Dynamic pricing meant there was a surge in the cost for some tickets for their comeback tour that was happening at the weekend. Oasis said they didn't know it was happening. Onto a programme that was on air for 14 years until it was scrapped after a guest died. The Jeremy Kyle Show. An inquest into the show heard Steve Diamond told a member of the team he wished he was dead after the recording. Jeremy Kyle himself is giving evidence right now. OK, next, moving on. Any ideas what these lot have in common?
I kept walking away.
All tunes, yeah, but Get, The Last Dinner Party and Barry Can't Swim are all up for Album of the Year at the Mercury Prize. We'll find out the winner of that later tonight. A couple of home nations in action in the Nations League tonight too. A young squad for Northern Ireland, but boss Michael O'Neill says they're at the start of a new era.
A lot of the players are still at the infancy of their club careers, but hopefully, as I say, the team will continue to progress, and that's a big part of obviously what the Nations League gives us this opportunity.
22-year-old Try Humes leading them out against Luxembourg later. Scotland keen for a fresh start too after a disappointing Euros. Manager Steve Clarke has this on his to-do list.
Where we are as a squad, what we can do as a squad, and how successful we can be as a squad.
They play Portland, at Hampden Park. This is Newsbeat. We're back at 3:30.
On the BBC Sounds app.
On the radio. And ask your smart speaker to play Radio 1.
This is BBC Radio.
First on the BBC Radio 6 Music News.
6 Music. This is BBC Radio 6 Music.
BBC News at 2:30. This is Anthony Birchley. The Environment Secretary Steve Reid has rejected nationalising water companies as he set out the government's proposed measures to improve the sector. He says stronger regulation will set the foundation for increased investment. Proposed new rules include jail terms for water bosses who obstruct investigations into the release of sewage into waterways. Becca Blees, a freshwater swimmer with the campaign group Common Bathing, says the issue is serious.
A few of us within the campaign group itself have been ill from swimming in the Avon, and we know many people in the community who've also been ill. And it's just such a gamble because most of the time it seems that the water is just completely beautiful and lovely to swim in, but at times we become ill from swimming in it.
The government urged the police and Crown Prosecution Service to act as quickly as possible to decide whether cases can be brought against people who may have contributed to the Grenfell Tower fire in West London in 2017. The final report from the inquiry into the disaster said yesterday that all 72 deaths were preventable. The Housing Minister, Angela Rayner, says there must be a cultural shift in how social tenants are treated. Emma Dent-Code, who was the Labour MP for Kensington when the fire happened, says little has changed since.
We've had a lot of fine words and people being very sorry about everything that's gone on. What we haven't had, and we've been promised, is actual change. And you ask any council tenant around here, they will say not enough has changed, if anything, and they're still treated as second-class citizens. Their emails aren't answered, they're not taken seriously, and that's really not good enough.
The TV presenter Jeremy Kyle has started giving evidence to the inquest into the death of a man who'd appeared on his show. Steve Diamond is believed to have taken his own life in 2019, 7 days after he took a lie detector test as part of the programme, where he'd been accused of cheating on his partner. A member of the Royal Navy has died during a training exercise in the Channel off Dorset. The Ministry of Defence has a helicopter conducting night flight exercises with the aircraft carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth ditched into the water. There were no other serious injuries, and the deceased person's family has been informed. Police in the German city of Munich have shot dead a man carrying a gun in the city centre. The incident happened close to a building housing Nazi documents, not far from the Israeli consulate, although the man's motive is still unclear. Andreas Franken, who's a spokesman for Munich police, gave this update.
Kenya's sports minister said the tragedy of Rebecca...
Oh, sorry, can't bring that actuality at the time. The former Brexit negotiator for the EU, Michel Barnier, has become the new French Prime Minister. For the last 2 months, France has been run by a caretaker government following snap elections that left no party in overall charge. That's 6 Music News. Your next update is at 3:30.
Get 6 Music on your